China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
This is a rapidly emerging situation where there is not a cause for alarm.
The first U.S. case has been detected.
To contain a city of 11 million people is new to science. It has not been tried before as a public health measure.
2020 will be the toughest year of our lives.
Record closing highs so far for the
Blasting through a ceiling.
in a record-setting IPO.
Investors who have been riding the wave.
The stock market has been mostly booming for almost 40 years.
As the stock market goes, so goes the wealth and the health of the American economy.
What the market is telling us is that we are on the road to prosperity.
The skyrocketing stock.
It's a panoramic. We need our money. We need it now.
Hi everyone, I am Tiffany, the founder of The Abundant Investor, and this is a new series on this channel called The Panoramic Stocks. And that is, panoramic is the code word for the other P word that we can't really say, because if you do, you can get demonetized, your channel get blocked and flagged, and I don't have time for that. I just want to give y'all the information so we can learn from this whole Netflix and other panoramic stocks that were booming at one point and now they're falling right out of the sky. But this is part one. We're going to be talking about Netflix today for our panoramic stocks series. So if you've been living under a rock, which I hope you're not, but if you're Patrick Star and you live under a rock, then you probably did not hear about Netflix stocks dropping significantly after it reported a loss of over 200,000 subscribers to the platform during their earnings, when investors projected that they will be adding more users. So their price dropped about 35% or more that day, and they were the S&P 500's worst performer of the day. Okay. And not only that, they expect to lose 2 million global subscribers in the current quarter. So that is disappointing news. If you are heavy on Netflix, if you really believed in Netflix, this is very disappointing. We can learn a lot about Netflix and as investors just by how management treats a lot of this stuff. Let's pay attention to the things that they are saying. Netflix plans a lower price service with ads. But let's pay attention to what management or the higher ups had to say. They said, those who have followed Netflix know that I've been against the complexity of advertising and a big fan of the simplicity of subscription. I am a bigger fan of consumer choice and allowing consumers who would like to have a lower price and are advertising tolerant to get what they want. Makes a lot of sense. So when I read that, I just think about, well, have they really been putting the consumer first all these years? And with Netflix increasing their prices, I mean, that comes with the territory. That makes sense. They're not going to just stay at the same price. The problem is if you're going to bump the price up every year for a subscription service, you need to add more value. And a lot of people feel like they're not getting enough value for what they are paying for. And I feel like Netflix never really asked their consumers up until now, where they're dealing with this loss, if they wanted ads, if they are willing to sit through ads to get a cheaper subscription price. Because if they did, they would have done this back in 2018, 2019, and even in 2020. He was more concerned about how they felt about the product instead of how consumers felt about the product. from a business standpoint, you should always put your users first, especially in this type of streaming service. Your users should be number one priority. Not how you feel is best, not how you feel about ads, because I guarantee you a lot of people will stomach through the ads to pay a cheaper price to watch Netflix. Because think about it. Let's think about YouTube. Do any of y'all pay to get ads off so you can watch your favorite YouTuber? I bet a lot of y'all don't. A lot of y'all sit through the ads, especially the ones that you can skip, and keep the free version of YouTube. So Netflix could easily incorporate a cheaper tier with ads, and I bet you a lot of people would not care about sitting through ads. This is not like a streaming platform like a Twitch. Now, Twitch, I'm not sitting through ads to watch my favorite streamer play a video game, because I might miss a funny joke or I might miss a really cool moment in the stream because I was interrupted by an ad. Now, that is something that's worth paying for if I'm watching my favorite streamer on Twitch. So imagine, with the growth that Netflix has seen progressively since over the last 4 or 5 years, imagine if they did have that ad revenue come in. That ad revenue would really help with what is currently going on. And the ad revenue isn't hurting the business in any way. I can see if it was more of like an ethical thing, the reason why you don't want to have ads, but advertising isn't hurting your business. It's actually helping bringing more revenue for your business. Netflix solely relies on the subscriptions for revenue, which is a problem. And a lot of people believed in Netflix because Netflix really didn't have that much competition. But with the rise of the pandemic, people staying at home, kids being at home, a lot of these stocks like Roblox, Disney, a lot of these different companies like Warner Brothers are adding streaming services. And also the rise of anti-cable. People are tired of paying buku prices for cable. Why pay for cable when I can pay this amount of money a month to watch the same shit? And then there's some other platforms like Pluto TV that are free, that has the news, that has old reality shows and crime shows and stuff like that on the platform for free. So the competition has expanded for Netflix. So the question comes into play, how can Netflix be more innovative to stand out from the competition? They're trying the reality shows, they're trying the gaming shows, they're trying the animation shows, and I think they recently cut the animation shows off of the platform because of this loss. But even with all of that, how else can they be different? How else can they be different? And I feel like they can compete with people like Twitch. They can compete with companies like YouTube because they already have a good foundation and respect. They're paying these big bucks to these Dave Chappelle's and Kanye and all these other people for these documentaries and things like that. Why not pay creators? That's where digital technology and like celebrity is going. It's going more of everyday people like you and I picking up a camera and recording us playing video games, recording us talking about hot topics. We're going to platforms like YouTube and Twitch for those things. We're not really checking out E! News or what's the other celebrity gossip shows, not even TMZ. Like, we're just going on YouTube and we're looking up stuff and we're hearing people's commentary on these things. So if Netflix really wanted to get in and really be a competitive threat, they can add that streaming element, bring creators on the platform, and then expand from there and have that be a whole completely separate tier, separate subscription that people can go on. Imagine a lot of these creators migrating from one platform to a platform like Netflix. People already think they're more famous than they are. So imagine giving these creators, I'm on Netflix. Check out my on Netflix. They could dump in that pot because people are already paying to be members on platforms like YouTube, because YouTube now have memberships that you can join to get exclusive content from your favorite creator. So people are paying for that shit. People will buy it. People are buying to be members for their favorite YouTuber. People are paying monthly fees to watch their favorite streamer on Twitch. So they would definitely pay to watch their favorite streamer on Netflix. And a lot of these creators will push Netflix because it's Netflix. It holds weight. I'm on Netflix. You know how many people want reality shows and stuff and want to be, oh, I want to have my own show. That's just a way to watch your favorite creators, and people will pay for it. People pay to watch Ryan's World. People pay to watch so many of these creators. They can create a whole separate thing and then get in that creator bag, because that's where we are at in our society. I just want to take a moment to look at the chart, because the chart tells so many stories. We're going to talk about fundamental and technical analysis as well in this video. Look at, oh my goodness. Let's look at the year 20. Look at the progression from 2015, 2016. They just slowly progress. They had a little pullback in 2019 going into 2020. And then boom, with everything that happened, of course, we have a skyrocket in the stock's growth, which makes sense. But if this didn't happen, we could have started off a little bit red in 2020, but it probably still would have been a nice, steady growth. Nothing too wild. Like the 2020 candle, that candle would have been split in half. Like that 2020 candle alone is about 2 years of growth for Netflix in 1 year. And if we look at our current candle, the current year of 2022, just look at the plummet. It's literally the whole entire 2 years of growth is gone in like 3 months. So this is a lesson for a lot of investors, why I always preach to stop buying at all-time highs. Stop buying companies at all-time highs, because anybody who brought Netflix towards the middle of the summer, and especially at the end of the year, you're probably shitting yourself right now. I don't even want to know how much you're in the gutter. You have to do your research, y'all. You have to research the company. You have to see, how are they being innovative? How are they being forward thinking? Because let me tell you something. Even now, at the current price of Netflix, to me, it's not worth even dumping a lot of money into right now. That's just my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. Don't believe me? Let's look at another chart. These two charts right here. The chart on the left represents the last 2 years. The chart on the right looks at the past, I believe, 1, 2, 3, like 10, 12 months, so like the past year. So if we look at the chart on the left, we zoom in a little bit, you see that little dip, which shows when everything happened. We had our little mini crash because of everything that was happening during that time. Paying attention to the technicals. If you got in Netflix back in March, you had a really good position. That's when I got into Netflix. You got in at a good price. You're underneath your 50, your 120, and 200 moving day averages. So you're underneath all of those. So then that's exactly, well, we're way down now. But that was a great buying position. There were so many great buying opportunities. And me, I did get Netflix back in 2020 because I recognized where we were headed. Remote work, staying at home, people furloughed, people are bored. People were bored. So what are you doing? You're watching TV, you're eating junk food, and you're drinking wine. So I got in. And again, there wasn't as much competition. I did have some faith in Netflix. I'm like, Netflix is cool, right? So I got in. A lot of people got in here. Soon as we started to go above our 50-day moving average, we're not even playing in getting in. You missed your opportunity. There's plenty of other opportunities to get in. You can get in when it starts to touch and go underneath the 120 if you wanted to play that game. Got in when it was about, 480-ish. Could have got in. Also could have gotten in around May of 2021, because again, we were still in that uncertainty stage and phase of the global crisis that we were in. But at the same time, our mind has to start shifting because, people were starting to go back to work. People were getting, the SHOTs and so we were transitioning back to quote unquote normal, whatever the fuck that means. But so recognizing that, I was already planning on my sale pretty soon. I was prepared. We had our little rally towards the end of the year, and then we significantly plummeted by the time December of 2021 came, because that's when, people were just doing their own thing. They was going on flights. They was doing this, doing that. More people back in the office, more people going back to work. And a lot of the cases significantly dropped. Now here we are in 2022, and we've seen just a steady decline, especially when they announced the price hikes, especially in the subscriptions. And they're talking about the password crackdown. The password, let me tell y'all something. Netflix is hilarious because they really think that passwords is what's ruining subscriber count. That probably has about 1-2% effect on your subscriber count. Motherfuckers was sharing passwords for years. So you think that cracking down on password sharing is going to make more people want to get it? No, they're just going to be like, F it. I'm going to just move on. I'm going to just go to another platform that's a little bit cheaper, like a Hulu. Or I'm going to just watch a free platform like Pluto TV. Like, shit, if I want to watch Coco Melon, I could just watch that shit on YouTube. Like, there's so many things that people can do. They just don't care. And they're not going to get it because you're cracking down on fucking passwords. Excuse my language, but I'm just saying, like, they're focused on all the wrong things. This is why I'm saying you got to pay attention to how management is moving. They're paying attention to the wrong things. That's not going to help your subscriber count go up. You have to now think outside the box. And this is what I'm saying. How is Netflix going to be innovative? Yes, ad revenue is coming in, but that's a little too late, in my opinion. You should have had a paid tier where you get ads, and it's cheaper though. The paid tier is cheaper. So Netflix got a lot of work to do, or they're going to be just like the company that they wanted to buy out, Blockbuster. The modern day Blockbuster. And that is crazy. That is crazy when you put it into that type of perspective. Let's go back to the balance sheets. This is the balance sheet. As we can see, their assets have increased. Their working capital, unfortunately, in 2021 went back down. But in 2020, their working capital increased. There was a lot of good things that were happening for Netflix. Like, their balance sheet isn't that bad. I would just say they're a damaged stock right now. That is on the verge of being a damaged company. I will say that. Here's another technical chart. The line at the bottom represents that dip that happened March of 2020, where a lot of people got in. I also highlighted the market consolidation that was going on. You try not to enter during consolidation period. Either wait for a breakdown, then it's like, Again, this consolidation represents a lot of the uncertainty that was happening. We had our push up and then we fell out the fucking sky. Now we're below pre-panoramic lows. We're way down now. Is there hope for Netflix? Let's talk about it. Like I said, Netflix is a damaged stock, not a damaged company yet. And the reason why I say yet is because they're making really piss poor decisions as far as how they're going to correct what has fallen. Cracking down on passwords isn't going to make people buy something or get a subscription on something. If anything, it's going to make people not be consistent with keeping the platform, staying on the platform. I know a lot of people, and I'm one of them. Once I'm done with Netflix and there ain't shit else to watch, I am clicking off. I'm turning off my subscription until something better comes on the platform. So you're going to get a lot of that. If you haven't already seen a lot of that, you're going to get a whole lot of people doing that. There's nothing really entertaining to watch. Why am I still paying $19.99, $15.99, or whatever much the subscription is? So until they really be more innovative with their platform and really consider the user's perspective and get insight on the user perspective of this, they will transition into being a damaged company. You're like, Tiff, what is a damaged company? What is that? Think of a damaged company like a Ford. You can think of a damaged stock. At the time, Chipotle, when Chipotle went through the E. coli breakout, they're damaged stock, but their balance sheet is excellent. And now you see they're a $1,900 stock. They're not a damaged company. They was a damaged stock. Again, like I mentioned, incorporating ads may have been a little bit too late. Imagine if they would have incorporated ads in 2019, 2018, even 2020. They could have made so much revenue with the ads, especially with how many people were subscribing to Netflix and how booming the stock was. They could have made so much money. But yet, because he didn't pay attention to his users, didn't ask the users what they would like, and he was more concerned about how he felt about advertising, he missed out on an opportunity. We already discussed that, how they can be more innovative. Again, I talked about, being more competitive with the streaming element, the creator element of it. And I hope that Netflix doesn't become the next Blockbuster, because that would be terrible, because Netflix isn't a bad company and they really were the the people that really started this whole streaming thing. And people really thought Netflix would be like the Amazon of streaming. But, I mean, when you miss out on key opportunities for revenue growth, when you don't communicate with your users to understand what they like, what they don't like, then you get situations like these. And you should really think as an investor, do I want to invest in a company like this who really don't pay attention to their users, who's not engaging with them to understand what they like, what they don't like? A management that's more thinking about self than who they are targeting to, you know? So that's why I say, even with this dump that we are in Netflix, it being at like $16 right now, a lot of people is like, this is a buy-in. Nope. I don't agree. Until we get more of a solid, innovative, forward-thinking plan to really transform Netflix and separate them from the competition, Netflix can potentially dump some more and then start consolidating. That's where I see Netflix going. I don't see Netflix going to 700 anytime soon. I really don't even see it peaking to 500 anytime soon. Please be smart with your investments. Please do your due diligence before buying into any investment. And just be mindful and pay attention to what they are saying in these companies. And the proof was in the pudding that they were going to eventually drop, especially towards the end of 2021. That showed you that there was going to be a significant drop that was going to come. So I hope that you found this video informative. You learned something new. Again, let me know in the comments what's the next panoramic stock that you want me to talk about. I really want to talk about Peloton and drag Peloton because that was a disaster. So let me know which one you want me to talk about. And again, just because it's a panoramic stock does not mean that it's a bad company or that it's a bad stock. Also, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at The Abundant Investor. It is all linked in the description box. And yeah, I will see y'all next time.